All right, hello everyone. Here we're back for another master guide, hole number 2. I'm trying to think of what this was. I think it was a par 4. Oh yeah, the drivable. So I don't know what the wind is going to be. I remember Cinco de Mayo, we had a headwind here. I wonder if it'll be the same or very similar. What I did on that was I laid up intentionally and went for a dunk. And I actually won Cinco de Mayo on my alternate account, not this one. It's the account with a POC 5 and a POC and Thor 5. I can't remember what I did with this account. I don't even think I played Masters. I try to space my accounts out and not put too many in the same division. It's too boring for me. So what you guys, some of you guys kind of intentionally do, I kind of do the opposite. So what you are going to see me do, as you can see, this is almost identical to that wind. I'm almost positive. So what I would recommend for you guys, I'm going to take a Bandera ball, and we're going to see if I can't. I forget what the spin I used. I know it had to do with some top spin. So let's try right around 3 here, kind of right towards the front. I'm getting a little slow here. So I'm going to go 6.5 rings and use quite a bit of curl. Let's just see how this works. I remember even on some drives I even did this with a QB. But what the goal is to kind of shoot it up. Oh, stop. So I'm going to pitch it back and into the fairway. I don't want to waste a shot attempt with a bunker. I'm going to assume that we can kind of, what I'm probably going to do is back off to about 1 top spin, and that's what I recommend you guys doing. That almost held on, and had it held on, we would have been okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pitch out for you guys so we don't end up wasting an attempt, and you can actually see what the overall goal is going to be. And like I mentioned, right around 1 top spin is probably going to be the sweet spot. And if you guys need to go to my Cinco de Mayo tournament, I also have holeouts for you guys from that tournament of this hole. I forget what hole it was, 4 or 5 or something. Sounds right. Not 100% sure. What I'm going to do is, what I tried to do is I tried to get it right here. So this is pretty much the sweet spot. And then additionally, we're going to really not use much elevation. We're just going to go with Thorn. And we're going to pretty much be right at min club. So whatever wind we get, and you can see that I'm using a wind 5 ball to minimize that wind. And it's going to give you a very, very makeable dunk attempt. Alternatively, you'll have to go at it with a wedge. And you'll have to play a crosswind, and it's very, very challenging to make. So if you don't follow my channel, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage. As I mentioned, there was very few people that made this in the Cinco de Mayo, and that was, part of the reason that I springboarded and was able to win this was because of, I didn't hit it back far enough. I guess I'll attempt it with Endbringer. I really don't want to. It's a much harder shot. I'm going to use plus 10%. We're going to go about 10 rings here. I don't like dunking with Endbringer as much as Thorn, but I guess we'll do it. And as I mentioned, I'm going to have to do this kind of fast, so I'm just doing it on the fly. And I'm going to use 10 rings here, right at basically max club. Max plus about 15%, 10-15%. And sure enough, I still made it. So, and it's the same concept as to what I just explained to you on the last hole, as to why I'm going more rings than 1-to-1. When you're into a headwind like that, see if I can get out of this. So when you're into a headwind like that, the wind resistance is going to be a little bit more than a 1-to-1 fashion. So that's why you could see me going 10 rings there. Ideally, you're going to be laid back just a little bit more and be at min Thorn. So a min Thorn dunk is much easier than the one that I just attempted. That was a very, 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 very hard dunk. So I really do recommend that you kind of stay away from that bunker. As I mentioned, maybe about 1 top spin instead of the 3 that I used. Because if you get down there towards max end bringer, it's going to be much more complicated. But you could see the 10% adjustment that I used, plus 10%, let's see what, plus 15, no, 15. So I used basically spot on 15 because I went 10 rings, put it in the center, and was able to make it. So good luck with that. I do recommend laying up with a Win 5 ball, trying to dunk it. Like I mentioned at the Cinco de Mayo, I made that on both sides. That plus one or two other shots was essentially the difference. There was so few guys making that hole. You know, it was basically like 5 guys in your bracket that had eagles on both sides for that hole. Like it's that challenging to do it, but it's really not that challenging once you have that next level thinking and, you know, go to the correct approach. So good luck with that second hole, guys. I'll do the best that I can to kind of give you guys an adjustment tomorrow. We'll try to figure out how to handle that. I'll lay back a little bit farther, but as I mentioned, you know, try to get it to a min thorn and use maybe 4 per ring for your wind adjustment. So for that similar case, 8.3, I'd go just more than 2 rings, maybe 2.1. So good luck, guys, and catch you guys for hole 3 coming up.